it's locking me up like a wild animal. You say I'm free to run, but you ain't letting me go. Taking one step at a time, but it's easier said than done. But I gotta keep moving on. You won't give me a reason to stop believing that you're meant for me. 'Cause you change like the seasons, you fall like the leaves. I can't get no release. And when you fall, hope you fall for me. Honestly, you're all that I need. I give it all away, give it all away. I don't need a thing, no. Honestly, you're all that I need.
Oh,
Fraser Churchill, look at you.
you can see me. How you doing?
How you doing, man? You look sharp.
Really? Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not anything. I was in LA last week, so maybe it was the sun.
I think that's what it is. Because last time I saw you here in Nashville, you just look cool. You know, relaxed outfit. You know, you have I don't know. You're just a cool cat, Fraser. I don't know. You know what I mean?
What can I say? I appreciate
Yeah.
that. How have you been?
So where are you right now? Are you back in Nashville, Fraser?
I'm in Nashville right now. Yes, that's right. I was in LA last week, songwriting, and now I'm back in Nashville, just here in my apartment.
Yeah. How was LA?
It was great. I had a really good time. I was writing songs for various artists out there,
I see.
and but it's nice to be back. 1 week trip was just the right amount of time.
Awesome. Well, but yeah, Fraser Churchill. I mean, I was telling Brie Kennedy the other day because I saw her again, and you know, if I ever go to Liverpool or London,
Yeah.
I want to go with you because I want to see your old stomping grounds, Fraser. You know, what was the dream, Fraser? You know, because I just love your hunger, your drive, and just catching up on your story like past few days. That hunger you possess, Fraser,
Man.
is something that not many people have. Where does that hunger come from?
Well, you've done your research, I can tell, because not many people, I guess if you do a little digging, you can see that I went to Paul McCartney's music school in Liverpool. I just remember finishing school and I was 18 and I thought, you know, there's this Fame Academy in Liverpool that is run by Paul McCartney. I thought there's only a handful of songwriters a year that get accepted there. And in your final year, you get a one-on-one songwriting class with Paul McCartney. And I thought that feels like something I can aim towards as like my goal. So I remember auditioning my first year. Oh, I don't know what it is, 3,000 applicants maybe, and 8-9 spots. And I didn't get in.
Wow.
So I thought I'd have to try again. So I remember doing a year on a different course, a diploma course, and then I reapplied and I got it in my second attempt. And yeah, I spent 4 years in total in Liverpool and got to that one-on-one with Paul McCartney at the end of it and sang him a couple of songs and got to ask him a few questions and he gave me a bit of advice.
Okay, so there's a lot to unwrap there, Fraser. Like, first of all, 3,000 applicants, you know, 9 people get accepted. Like, what did you do? What was your, like, you know, your portfolio? What songs did you perform like to get in? Like, how do you do it?
Well, honestly, I didn't get in my first go. So I tried. I thought, you know, what do? You got to write some good songs. I remember practicing my guitar, making sure I could sing and play at the same time. And I really just focused on playing, singing, and trying to go in with a couple of original songs that I thought were good. Looking back now, at the songs, I don't think the songs aren't at the caliber that I'm writing now, but I don't know, maybe they just saw potential, you know, and they gave me a shot at the degree, and I spent 4 years in Liverpool.
That's amazing. How old were you when you finished and you met Sir Paul?
Right, I started at 18 and I left at 22, and I moved to London.
22.
That's right. Yeah, I moved to London.
I gotta ask you because I met Paul McCartney at the Rock Hall induction 2 years ago in Cleveland, and I was petrified. I actually started shaking. In my life work, that doesn't happen. Like I never get starstruck in years. I got starstruck. What was it for you? Like, what was it surreal at all, or were you just cool as a
Oh,
cucumber?
it was completely surreal. I mean, I remember learning how to play Blackbird growing up, and I just thought, wow, I guess to meet Paul McCartney. And I remember waiting outside the room, and I heard he was finishing up with another student, and I was shaken, and I thought, wow, I got to calm down, try and be as cool as possible. But I had my guitar,
Right.
and I wanted to be prepared, so I'd printed out a lyric sheet of all my lyrics with the chords written above the words, so just so he could follow along. I wanted to be overly prepared, but
Yeah. Yeah.
he really was a pretty normal guy, and he put me at ease pretty quickly. And he sang a bit himself, and he had a Hofner bass, he had an acoustic guitar, and he had a piano. So he was like jumping back and forth from instrument to instrument
Wow.
and accompanying me. I'd sing him a chorus idea, and he would jump in and suggest, "Hey, why don't you try and change, the last chord instead of a B minor? Why don't you go to a D?" Those sort of like little.
That's your fault.
That's my best Paul impression there.
I love it. Oh man, Fraser, that's great. And you've been writing music forever. You're actually one of the best songwriters right now in Nashville, I think. I mean, you're top of the line. But I look at the evolution as you've gotten older. And like in Freedom or in Live at Livingstone, like you can see like the evolution here. But it's abundantly clear that you've kept working on your craft. Like you just keep writing songs. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna ask Fraser. Like songwriting is a craft that like needs to be consistently like worked on, right? It's not, like Paul McCartney, like yesterday, I think, or one of those songs came in his sleep, but more often than not, it's like a muscle, right?
Yeah, it is a muscle, and that's the thing. It's like you've got to constantly practice songwriting. I remember writing 10 songs, and it felt like an album when I was at Lipa in Liverpool. And I thought, oh, these are my 12 songs. These are them. This is the album. And I remember walking out and someone said something to me in a meeting like, oh, I don't think you've written your best songs yet. And I remember being quite offended by that at the time.
Right.
But looking back, it's so true. You've got to write 200 songs to find your 10 that are really special. And it's a numbers game, and it is a muscle that you get better, and you just come up with, you're quicker, and your brain is a little bit more switched on every time you write a new song. It's a rhyming dictionary, and you've got a thesaurus in your head that you can access. You're just constantly developing with every song you write.
But Fraser, how do you know? Because a songwriter, a pure songwriter like you, or like Bree or Hadley or whoever, that you guys write hundreds of songs a year, maybe thousands. Like, how do you know that the one that you wrote for Michael Bublé, like that's a special one and not the other like 20 that you think are really good? Like, how do you know?
That is such a good question, man. And I wish I had a very simple answer for you, but it's funny. There are a handful of songs over the last 3 years that I've kind of shot out of bed and jolted something down on a piece of paper, or recorded something on my phone and wrote in my phone with like 4 exclamation marks, finish this idea.
This one.
The Michael Bublé idea was that, honestly, that. It was like, I remember I was in California, and I stood outside my apartment, and it was like, it kind of came to me, and I ran inside and sketched out a rough idea. And I actually saved that idea for a specific co-writing session with Jason Reeves and Nathan Chapman. And I'd found those two guys, working with them in the past, and I knew that Jason could fill in the blanks whenever I fell short musically or lyrically. I knew he was the guy to bounce ideas off of. And then Nathan Chapman, who's best known for all of the Taylor Swift music, I just knew that he was also an incredible lyricist, singer, and instrumentalist. And with the three of us, would be able to throw something together that was at a high enough quality that it would just get the song into the best shape possible. And I didn't know what would happen to it, honestly. It wasn't like, oh, this is for Michael Bublé. But I just thought, oh, this is a great song, and it deserves to see the light of day. So I'm going to spend as much time on it as possible. And
Man, kudos to that. Kudos to that, Fraser. And watching you play, it's mind blowing that you started with the drums. You
Yeah,
started with the drums, right?
it did. It's funny because it's this kind of 6/8 groove, but it's like an up tempo 6/8 groove. So it's like a
Right.
and I thought,
That's
wow,
right.
really cool groove. And the bass moves, it's like on and then off. So it's like boom, 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 boom. I thought that kind of progression was unique, and uh it made it a little more exciting to write over something that wasn't your typical like 4/4 120
Yeah.
BPM. And yeah, we started with the drums, and then the chords came afterwards. The chorus lyric came first, and honestly the whole song was written in about an hour and a half. It was pretty quick.
Yeah. No, and that makes sense because the way you strum your guitar, you can tell that you have roots in the drums. That you started as a kid in the drums, like just the way you like, you play it. You just have a very unique kind of like vibe to it. It's very you in the best way, you know.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. I don't think I set out to have a sound or it, but I feel like I did 10 years on drums. Growing up, I did a drum lesson every single week from the age of 8 until I was 18. I was playing drums a lot. And I think it's a great instrument to start on because you can translate that into any instrument. I feel like now my right hand is kind of like a hi-hat, in that sense. When you play drums, your right hand is a hi-hat. And then when you play guitar, your right hand is the groove. So I do think that the drumming has kind of helped my percussive sound that I've developed.
Yeah. So, Fraser, why did you move to Nashville or to the US? And the reason I ask is because, a lot of our songwriters and peers here in Nashville, maybe they moved from like a small town in the US or something, you get it. But you're like establishing yourself in the UK, and the UK has a good songwriting thing. You have Ed Sheeran, you have, Harry Styles. Like, it can be done in London. Why did you say, I want to go to Nashville?
Well, it's funny that you used Ed Sheeran and Harry Styles as examples, but both of them have actually written their albums in a lot of their music in Nashville. So I feel as if I remember looking up some of the people who I aspired to be like, and songwriters, and where they were all creating their music. And of course, there's so much great music in London, but the home of songwriting,
Yeah.
I think, Nashville. And I remember trying LA
Like in
first.
the world, right? Yeah.
I'd say in the world. Yeah. I mean, I would say so. I remember my first proper songwriting trip, where I was in with others. I was in with hit songwriters, and I was definitely the weakest link in the room. And it just blew my mind how good these songwriters,
Right.
just brilliant. And they had never met anybody who cared about a lyric so much.
Yeah.
So that was really eye-opening when I first did a trip to Nashville. And I just thought, and you'll also hear from people, the thing that really makes or breaks a great artist is the song. I mean, beyond it, you're not going to have a tour if you don't have a great song. You're not going to have a merchandise or it's like so important to just get the song right, and the bones of everything is built from that song. So I just thought, Nashville feels like a great place to come and learn how to songwrite and collaborate, because also Nashville is such a city that loves to collaborate.
Yeah.
So I started doing trips and eventually decided to move over here.
Amazing. Well, we're so glad to have you, man, because you are a trailblazer right now in the city. So super stoked you're here, Fraser. Thank you for your time. I know you have a lot going on, but let me ask you this. I know you're going to maybe play a song for us. You're getting a little older. We're all getting a little older and wiser. You're no longer the chap there in Liverpool. What are some of the priorities now, like at this point in your career? I feel like, your name is out there. You're playing big festivals. You can sit in the room with many top people. What is your why at this stage in your career, Fraser?
Oh, it's a good question. Why am I still going on? I mean, I feel like it's really kind of you to say all those things, but I honestly feel as if I'm just kind of scratching the surface of like what I'd like to achieve. I'm so excited to put out my own album, and I've been thinking about it for years and years and chipping away at it. And I honestly think that body of work that to be really proud of takes a long time. So I'm slowly chipping away at that. I've still got plenty of songs, plenty of artists I would love to work with.
Right.
I also just love the idea of when you write a song, you've created the song and it's recorded, and that's going to be there forever. It's something that you can leave in the world behind you when you go. You're still always going to
right.
hold up and out there. So it's just, those are the sorts of things that keep me going, I guess.
Isn't that the truth, Fraser? Like music, and I tell this to people, like movies and all, and paints, all beautiful arts, but man, music just grabs all the senses, all the people. There's nothing quite like it, right?
Nothing quite like it. You're right. And it's like music translates into so many languages and brings so many people together.
Absolutely. We're Fraser Churchill. You've said it all. Man, we're just super stoked that you're, continuing to evolve as an artist here in town and worldwide. And yeah, if you don't mind playing a song for us, we'd be honored.
Oh, it'd be my pleasure. I mean, we were talking a little bit about Michael Bublé, and I'd like to sing Baby I'll Wait, which is the song I wrote for Michael on his last album. And this is a version that he heard that got him excited to record it. So here it is.
I swear that I would if I could, but you know that I can't. Cause this situation I'm facing is out of my hands. Yeah, I would swim, I would drive, I would run, I would fly, just to be by your side. But I'm stuck here tonight, so baby, I'll wait. You know that I'll wait for you forever and a day, yeah. Baby, I'll wait for you, cause we're meant to be together. I don't care how long it takes, yeah, baby, I'll wait. Ooh, baby, I'll wait for you. You used to call me and I would be there in a flash. I would be out of the door before you even asked. Oh, but now there's a wall in between you and me. It's as high as the sky and as deep as the sea. So baby, I'll wait. You know that I'll wait for you forever and a day, yeah. Ooh, baby, I'll wait for you, cause we're meant to be together. I don't care how long it takes, yeah, baby, I'll wait. Baby, I'll wait for you. Said, baby, I'll wait. Baby, I'll wait for you. Said, baby, I'll wait. Baby, I'll wait for you.
My chills have chills, Fraser. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for your time. Thanks for your charisma, and thank you for your art that you're spreading on the world.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on today. Great
Absolutely.
to see you.
Take care, man.
Take care. Bye.